What's up, everyone? Hope you are enjoying the holiday weekend. Merry Christmas to everyone. Be safe out there. So today I'm going to install the MetalCloak Chromoly rear track bar for my Jeep JK. As you can see, I have this Rubicon Express that I installed 3 years ago with the suspension. The other video that I just released, we did the upgrade on the Falcon shocks, and the only component that I have left of the original suspension is this track bar. Right now, with the new coil springs, it is rubbing on this side on the track bar, so that's definitely something I need to address. As you can see here, this is the new Chromoly MetalCloak. You do have to use their bracket, which we'll get that installed here in a few minutes as well. We're going to need to remove this bolt here, 21 millimeter. We also need to remove the bolt for the driver's side rear control arm. You can see I have the skid plate bracket for the shock installed, so we'll work around that. We'll get that installed. That bolt on that side up top will also need to be loosened and taken out. We will be using the original hardware for the track bar. For the mount, we will be using the provided hardware you see here. So yeah, let's get into it. I want to show you guys a side-by-side comparison. Obviously the Rubicon Express, the MetalCloak. You can see the rust. I've had these for 3 years. I do live in Florida, closer to the coast, so we have the humidity and the salt air that affect this, but you can see just the rust that's developed. It's not terrible, but it is rusting everywhere. One of the great things about the MetalCloak is that it has the gold zinc on it, and it also uses these enclosed bushings. On this one, obviously everything comes apart once you take it off, but it's just so rusted, and that's one of the things that I wanted to get away from. But there's the two side-by-side comparison. You'll see as well that the bracket is here, and this is the skid plate that I have, and the two, I don't think it's going to work without one being bent out of place. Obviously I'm not going to do that, so in this case I'm probably not going to install this one for now. Like I mentioned, once I get it up there and see what everything fits like, I'll be able to determine that more, but right now it looks like this isn't going to fit. So I want to point something out here, correction on this. This is a 22, or I'm sorry, 21. However, this side, the nut is larger. I think it's a 22. I have not gotten a tool for this yet, so I'm going to use my vice grips. I did show in the last video that this was a different size, and I just haven't had a chance yet to go to the hardware store and buy one, but for now I'm going to use the vice grips. Okay, I got the driver's side rear control arm bolt removed. Like I mentioned before, I have these brackets that are skid plates on both sides and on the front that help protect the bottom of the shock. I was a little concerned with this new MetalCloak bracket that the bracket along with this are not going to fit. So I may be looking at not having this one on for now until I can come up with a resolution for it. I think MetalCloak makes a skid plate bracket like this. I'll have to look into that, but for now it looks like I won't be able to put this one back on. I'm going to go ahead and remove the track bar now, get that loosened up on both sides, and then pull that out. Okay, so this is something that's been an issue on the last couple of builds that I've shared with you guys. The directions from the manufacturer say one size, and I'm noticing that it's almost never the correct size. These are factory bolts here. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is factory. It's not a 21, it's actually a 19. So instead of taking off the right rear tire, I'm just going to use an extension plus the impact wrench to get this off. I just don't feel like taking off the tire, and I can do the same thing, and less work, less hassle. But yeah, so this is a 19 on both sides, the nut and the bolt head. It is not a 21 like they suggest it is. Okay, so you can see here the bracket is in place. You have the U-bolt that'll go like this over the top to secure it to the axle shaft. You have a spacer here. This spacer is going to go in here with this bolt facing this direction, so the bolt head is to the rear of the vehicle. It'll also get one of these nuts on the inside. Then for the actual track bar itself, you're going to have this Allen head bolt. That'll go up here. The Allen head part will be to the rear of the vehicle, and the nut will be on the inside. That installs up here. So you can see from here to here, that's about 4.5, 5 inches. So you can see the distance of where the track bar used to live and where it's being moved to with the help of the bracket. So we'll go ahead and get the bracket tightened down with the hardware that's provided with it and go from there. Okay, so I have the spacer in place and I have the bolt in place, as you can see here. Don't forget to use the anti-seize on the bolt, which I have on the back side. So I just want to show you guys something. I mentioned earlier that the bolt size that they tell you it is in their directions is a 21. This is a 21 right here. It does not fit. This is a 22. It fits. So their directions are wrong. I'll reach out to MetalCloak about that unless I'm missing something. But this is a 22 and their directions say 21. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tightened down now. Get the U-bolt tightened down and then install the track bar. Okay. Getting this to line up properly is a pain. Be patient with it. Make sure this is loose. It helps because then you can maneuver this a bit. It took quite a bit of maneuvering to get the bolt back through, but with a little patience, it finally worked. I've got this tightened down now. We're going to tighten this one next. that's secure there. We'll go ahead and get the U-bolt secure. I can reach the bolts. Watch the hose. Alright, so these are a 19, so make sure you get those evenly tight, that way it's not unbalanced or off. Alright, looks good. I'm not a huge fan of these because they do loosen over time, and it's easy to tighten down one and have the other one come loose, or vice versa. I'm not a huge fan of these brackets, but it is what it is, so we'll get it tightened down. We'll check it again in a couple days, and then just make sure to keep checking it every once in a while. So again, make sure you have the right tools. I'm having to use the vice grips on the back because the biggest ratchet I have is a 21mm, and this is either a 22 or a 23. I will be picking one up this week, and for the Allen it's a 10mm. I'm just doing this by hand. Certainly use your drill, which I might end up doing anyways, just to get some pressure on it. So on this side, the passenger rear, you want to make sure that the bolt head is toward the front of the vehicle and the nut is on the rear. We'll tighten down this nut and get the nut and washer on the back. And we'll also put some anti-seize on this one as well. So this is the MetalCloak rear track bar bracket, and obviously the track bar installed on my Jeep. It's a 2017 Rubicon. The The bracket's a bit of a pain to get on there right. You just have to really snug it and shimmy it a bit to get it to sit right. The control arm bolt was definitely a pain. Just get it lined up, take your time with it. The spacer was pretty straightforward. That bolt is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's a 10mm. So my only concern at this point, and you can see here, this is the passenger side. My only concern is how close the track bar is to the coil spring. Right now, that's my middle finger, and I can force it through. Index finger is just fine. There's a little resistance there. This is really, really close. Maybe it'll adjust as I put the vehicle down, because right now it's still up on the jack stands. But I am really concerned about that. You can see here where the Rubicon Express was rubbing after I had the shop install these. They should have noticed that and warned me of that. So now this coil spring is already worn in, not in a good way. So yeah, this is going to be the concern, especially when I lower it and then I'm doing any off-roading or hit bumps or anything that causes the vehicle to travel up and down and come in contact with the track bar. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video and the other ones that I've made, consider subscribing and liking the videos. It really helps. I hope everybody has a fantastic and safe holiday. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The install of the MetalCloak rear track bar is done. Everything is torqued down. I am concerned about the passenger side coil spring and the track bar being right on top of each other. There's about a finger length in between the two, so I'm going to do some test driving with that, put the camera underneath so I can see how close it is. Hopefully it doesn't rub. That might be something that I have to address down the road. There is the bracket for the track bar. Check out the video I recently did on the Falcon shocks. And I'll be doing a quick video very soon on these new Apex valve stems. These things are absolutely fantastic. And I'll show you a couple of concerns that I have, some issues that I ran into, but all it is with the aftermarket inflate kit that I have, they don't fit these heads. So you have to get an adapter, which is no big deal, but something to consider. So look for that video soon. Hope you guys enjoy.